Hi, welcome to Previously On, a Damage Control podcast production. You don't know me, and I'm just a guy who's got a lot of ideas. I watch a lot of media. I love every format, but I don't have the means of production of making my dreams come to reality. And then going forward, I'm just out walking one day when all of a sudden... What's this? Where am I? Is it like the 1800s? Like the 1600s? Where am I? Like everybody's old-timey and there's a play happening over there. Oh, it's terrible. What? I'm actually a writer's assistant for Shakespeare? Oh, time skip. Year later, I have re-released Titanic, Iron Man.
Wait, that's more than a year.
which universe are you in?
I'm in an alternate reality universe where Shakespeare is shit at writing. I as his understudy, have now
reproduced. I think that car wreck broke the part of his brain that understands.
Why did a car wreck send you back in time?
I have perfect knowledge of all of our current media that I have now transformed to classic Shakespearean plays.
You're the genie, so you can see all time and spaces once as Shakespeare's assistant writer.
Right, and so I am the reason he's so successful. So I remake Titanic. I remake Casablanca.
Before it happens?
Before it happens, because it doesn't exist yet.
So you're writing Casablanca in the 1600s
before
they know what World War II is?
Yeah, I'm taking a lot of creative liberties because who's going to fucking say shit? Nobody knows.
Oops. Wouldn't it be better for you to remake Shakespeare stuff?
Nah, his shit was crap. I didn't like it. Nah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, this is my alternate reality, and I'm the one of the most ultimate creative genius that I am plagiarizing that nobody can prove.
At 2, Cody?
Yeah, at 2, Cody. It seems I have come to another world. Okay, I am actually, realistically, a movie studio producer who has this current genre going on called Isekai, where somebody either through magic or some other means is transported to another world or setting vastly different than their own for sometimes. And this genre is encapsulated and enthralled a lot of people currently. Part of the reason I feel is escapism. People always want to see grass is greener or be something different than their current lives is why I think it's so popular right now. So I think it's a big selling point. It's a big bandwagon that everybody's doing right now, and we're going to get on it too.
Name 5 people that are doing it right now.
A lot of people.
Name 5.
Tim, Eric, Seth, Frank, and George.
Gene, Shonen Jump.
Now he's just making random fucking noises into the microphone.
Shueisha.
Swayze's dead.
No, Swayze.
So, but...
That's the female, Patrick.
Oh, gotcha.
But I actually am not very creative, so I'd like your guys' take on this genre. So I have here 3 people going to pitch me 3 different ideas, hopefully.
I would laugh. They're all the same fucking idea.
If you guys grab my idea, then we need to talk.
So I have here with me...
Adam.
He's pointing at you. Push the button.
Oh.
Tyler.
Daniel Newkirk.
All going to bring their own unique spin on this isekai idea, or this transfer to another world, or this go back in time, or cat out of water story, like a Wizard of Oz, like a
cat out of water.
Yeah, cat out of water, a catfish out of water.
Oh, okay.
Cat out of water.
Cat out of water.
Dog at a Chinese restaurant.
Yep.
So classic stories that from media, Wizard of Oz, Flash Gordon, Daniel brought it up early, Back to the Future, sort of.
Light bulb in the knife drawer.
And so I am going to judge. We're going to make some creative choices.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
Get to host their next Previously On with a new topic and 3 new ideas.
Yeah, so we should clarify that isekai is like man out of time or out of place. So yeah, like Back to the Future, Flash Gordon.
He said that. Cat out of water.
Yeah, cat out of water.
Yeah.
Back to the future. Isn't that how the theme song
Kid
goes?
and King Arthur Court.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Army of Darkness technically would be an isekai.
Yeah, exactly. So wow me, and who would like to go first?
I'll go first. We'll get this
Okay.
over with.
If this doesn't involve panties, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
You will be disappointed.
Take your panties off.
Not a whole lot of panties, but there is sex in it.
Take your panties off.
There's a magical vagina that the penis gets. No. Okay.
No, sorry.
No, that was his last movie. Bitch.
But it is an important.
it was.
It is
Yeah.
an important plot line.
Okay. All right.
All right. So my movie. We're actually going to open with the title.
Oh, they're gonna say we're
Okay.
open with panties.
No. And the title is My Imaginary World, or How I Accidentally Destroyed Everything. Or, no, actually, How I Accidentally Started the Apocalypse. Okay? So we're starting with a guy from America. And he's,
Do you
big.
have an actor in mind?
I'm going to go animated.
Oh, okay.
So,
Voice actor.
yeah, so we'll need a voice actor.
Right. Who you got anyone in mind yet? I'm trying to picture someone in my head.
Steve Bloom.
Who's that?
He was the voice of Spike Spiegel. I think he did one of the Wolverines, like the Wolverine in
Who's Spike Spiegel?
From
Cowboy
Cowboy Bebop. It's a classic anime.
Oh,
Oh, great! Now he's bringing in anime points.
God, here we.
I mean,
go.
Isekai is an anime trope, so we're going that direction with it. So we're going to start with a guy, and he's from America, and big into Japanese culture. And he's early mid-20s, saved up a ton of money, and he is obsessed with the idea of seeing this Japanese waterfall. So he saves up his money, spends every penny he can on a plane ticket, and flies out to Japan, and gets into his hotel room, and he's dedicated to, okay, I'm going to go to this waterfall tomorrow.
Is there a name for? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a name of Americans that love Japanese culture? Isn't there a name for those people?
Cody?
Okay.
I don't think it's
Otaku.
is
Well,
it?
that's more of a nerd sort of thing. If somebody is like really passionate.
Oh, is that what this guy is, or just no? He just.
Well, yeah. You could call him an otaku, but like
Otaku,
an otaku
okay.
is not specifically an American with Japanese. That is any
Yeah.
Any
Jap-
foreign-
like
he's
any
like more of
anybody.
Any non-Japanese.
No, it doesn't
Very-
even have to be non-Japanese. You can be Japanese to be an otaku.
that likes Japanese culture. Isn't that just
yeah.
called being a Japanese person?
It's like specifically nerdy about anime. is
okay.
otaku.
All right. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
Go ahead,
So
go
an
ahead,
American otaku.
I'm with you.
Right.
Okay, I'm with you.
So this guy, he's like, first thing on my vacation, I'm going to go see this waterfall. It's my highlight. First day passes and it's raining. And he's like, well, fuck, I guess I'll wait. And next day, it's raining. Next day, storming even worse. And finally, he's getting to the last day of his vacation and it's still storming. And he's like, fuck this. I came here, I saved every red penny to go see this waterfall. Fuck it. I'm going to go do it today. So on his last day in Japan, he goes up to the waterfall, and it is storming, rain bad, lightning all over the place, and he's finally getting to the waterfall, and it's just kind of like this is the waterfall. And it's like, it's a little bit smaller than he expected. It's not quite as clean as he thought it would be.
Fell victim to the social media thing.
Yeah, the rain is kind of like making it meh. He's kind of frustrated, but he's still like, well, at least I got here and did this waterfall. And suddenly there's a lightning strike. And the lightning strikes a tree near him, and it falls, and it knocks him over like the safety railing into the waterfall.
Okay.
And he gets swept away with the waterfall, and like perilous, like struggling and trying to swim, and I might be drowning, I don't know. And then like suddenly the waters get really calm, and like this hand pulls out, like reaches down and pulls him out and saves his life. And the sun is shining, the birds are chirping. Yes.
One thing, I think this is a deal breaker for me.
Mm-hmm.
When the guy,
Well, one thing. You can't say deal breaker for you. You're not judging.
right.
Dolores, can we get some coffee?
No, Dolores, you're gonna love this. So as the guy's pulling him up, the guy that's pulling him up goes, "Oh, it's a guy," and the guy that's in the water goes, "No, I think it's a guy."
God.
All right.
All right.
Jam this into my ear.
Okay, all right. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, so he pulls him out, and like birds are chirping, beautiful idyllic scenes. And he was like, "Hey, are you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm okay, but where am I? There was just a storm. And the guy's like, I haven't stormed in a while. I don't know what you're talking about. And like he's like, well, let's come into town, get you cleaned up, and we'll make sure you're okay. And the guy's wearing very plain clothes. The guy who rescued him, a very, very kind of drab, like plain pants, plain shirt, no color, no style, no design. It's like raw cotton or wool or whatever that's made out of, and it's that color even. You know, it's not processed or treated. And the guy's like, all right, come on, let's go into town. So he picks him up, takes him into town, and everyone is wearing kind of the same clothes. And he gets him dried off, and he's like, here's a change of clothes for you, and hands him an identical set of clothes that everyone's wearing. Here you go. And the guy's like, okay, weird, but whatever, it's dry. And puts it on, and kind of exploring through town, and like there's no art, there's no statues, there's no decoration. Everything is just like really kind of like precise. The roads are like grids. There's no decoration, and the buildings are just like practical, like 4 walls plus roof, and there we go. That's all we need. And like all of the quote unquote beauty is completely gone out of this town. And the guy's like, I have no idea where I am. And the old man like tells him the name of the city. And I'm terrible with Japanese language, so it's a Japanese sounding name, but fantasy.
Well, you could just say, like, because a lot of Japanese words, like Isekai itself, just stands for a different world. Mm-hmm. So you could just say, like, Rain Town, Bland Town, or something like that, and we could just translate it later.
Okay. Then it would be something really simple like Town 4.
Okay, I'm going to translate that while you're talking.
Okay. And he's kind of wandering around. He's like, are you hungry? And the guy's like, yeah, I'm kind of hungry. He's like, all right, let's get you some food. And he walks him over to like this little cafe restaurant area. Again, no real decorations. They sit down, and like there's no menus. The guys just sit down, and he waves, and they bring him 2 bowls of rice that are plain, unseasoned. Matcha 4, I guess. The plain, unseasoned, just boiled rice. And the guy eats it, and he's like, thanks. You know, he's like, Inkai.
His penis. Sorry.
So, like, he's like, okay, well, that's fine, thanks. And he's like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know how to go home. The guy's like, well, we'll find you a place, and you can stay here as long as you need to, and we'll figure it out. And the guy, like, okay, well, he gets into his house, and his house, again, no real design inside, very plain. Like, there's a kitchen where you can cook, but the only thing, well, like, for utensils is like a rice cooker. There's a bed, but it's just kind of a plain bed, no art, no decoration, nothing like that. And the guy's like, what the fuck? Okay, well, I'll sleep here, and I'll figure it out in the morning. So he sleeps there, comes back. The only food in the kitchen is rice. There's no seasoning. There's no oil. There's nothing. He makes some rice. And he starts exploring the world. And it seems like everyone in this town eats plain boiled rice 3 meals a day. Everyone's wearing the exact same clothes. There's no anything. And as he's kind of wandering around, he runs into a girl. And they meet. And he's like, oh, well, this is, you know, like they kind of falls in love. And the next day he's like, okay, I'm gonna go find her again. I'm gonna bring her flowers. So he goes out to one of the fields, finds some flowers and picks them, and carries them into the town. And everyone is just staring at him as he's walking through the town. It's like
horrified or like,
yeah, like what the fuck? Like what is this guy doing? And he finds the girl and he hands her the flowers, and she's like, thank you. Like, no one's ever done anything like this for me. Like, and is just blown away by the idea of someone having given her flowers.
Dirty panties. Sorry.
And we'll do a couple of like scenes where they're dating, like kind of similar things where everyone's just kind of blown away by like very, very simple gestures of like affection towards this girl. And we're gonna go to like she's gonna come back to like
right.
we're getting there. We're gonna come back to his place.
Yeah. Okay, classic formula.
Right.
Get the girl in one episode.
Flowers come.
Right. Comes back to his place, and like he like makes rice, and they have dinner, and then we're going to kind of like set the mood and like, okay, it's sexy time now, and like she gets like just like very kind of like matter of fact, just kind of gets undressed and lays on the bed.
Let me put on one of these dirty panties like out of this drawer.
And he's like, oh, okay, that's kind of direct, whatever. And then like we're gonna have the most boring, worst fucking sex scene you've ever seen in a movie.
So we're going to research it by
God
watching
damn,
it.
Right. I beat you to
So
it.
she's gonna be like, "Okay, are you done yet?"
Kind of. It's going to be like the Midwest Starfish style, you know?
Is that where the woman just or whoever just lays her?
Yeah.
Okay.
As, like with like arms and legs spread out
And
like
then they
starfish.
let the person on top do the.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to get into detail.
You know,
Adam.
you know what soaking is?
Okay, Cody. So watch.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what
okay,
soaking is.
all right. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had a bit there, Kyle.
No, he was
No.
just the first part was the joke he needed. That's
Yeah,
all.
I just need the tip.
Okay. Okay. And
We need to be on some sort of registry.
Like
especially
you don't
with the
think
shit
we
you
are?
say.
You're on one.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right. So then afterwards, he's like, "Okay, that was not really what I had built up in my head." And like the next day, he's like, "I'm gonna fucking figure this town out. Like, what the hell is going on?"
Yeah. So
Not what I thought you were going to say.
So this character, is he just sort of oblivious? Like, is he realized, like, obviously I'm not where I was, so he hasn't made the connection yet.
Right. Like he's definitely figured out that he's not where he's at. He doesn't know why he's not back home. Like this is obviously not where I left. This is not where I'm going home. But I can't figure out how to get
But
back.
he wants to get some strange.
Right. And he's just kind of like making do because he spent every penny he had getting to Japan. He was going back to like a broke kind of like back to that kind of wage slave life. So this is like a little breath of is a little bit of breath of peacefulness.
Living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Barely making ends meet type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he doesn't have anything really to go back to, so he's not excited about the idea of going back. He just doesn't know where the fuck he is. So that's
It's like an adventure. It's like, yeah, whatever. This is weird, but
Okay, all right.
Right. So then he's going to go out and kind of explore outside of the town and starts wandering around and starts seeing like sunflowers. And he's like, okay, so I know how to, I've had sunflower seeds before. So he goes and harvests a couple sunflowers. And as he's wandering around, he like trips over something and falls and finds this little small root thing growing out of the ground. He's like, what's this? And he kind of digs it away and it's a carrot.
Oh, all right.
He's like, all right, so he digs up a carrot and finds some other kind of like wild vegetables
don't make a joke
about. So he brings them back to the place, and he's like, well, I don't really have anything to do with it, but I can do something with this. And like, you know, kind of cracks the sunflower seeds, and like, you know, that you press them really hard, you can make a paste out of them. So he does that, and uses like some very basic tools, like a screwdriver to like kind of cut the vegetables up, and throws them into the rice cooker, and you know, makes rice with, you know, some sunflower seed paste and carrots and some other bruised vegetables. And he's like, all right, yeah, this is better than just plain old boiled rice. And he's like scoops it out into a bowl and goes out, like kind of opens the door and kind of wandering around, is eating his rice. And people are kind of stopping, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you eating? And he's like, oh, well, there's carrots and onions and sunflower seeds around the town, so I just grabbed some of those to eat. And they're like, you can eat those?
Oh, so this is a world that found one thing to eat and never grew out of it.
Right.
Is this a cooking anime?
No.
they don't have gout.
Right,
This
and
could have been awkward if they ate the wrong thing.
right, and they're like, we didn't know you could. Didn't know you could eat that. He's like, yeah, here, have some. And he starts handing out his food, and people are like, this is incredible. Why don't we do these? Show us what these things look like.
It's better than that sex I have.
So then, like, the guy goes out and shows them, okay, these are carrots, and you can harvest them, and you can. This is how you plant them, and they grow, and you have them so often. And then this is sunflower seeds, and this you crush them and make paste, and he starts showing them all these vegetables, and then he's like, what about meat?
The
What do you guys eat for
main
meat?
character is a young Gordon
Oh,
Ramsay.
no.
And the guys are like, oh, we don't have meat, and he's like, oh, and so he goes out and finds like a chicken, and like
wild chicken?
A wild chicken.
A wild chicken.
And he kills it and butchers it and cooks it, and he's like, "Here, try this." And people are like,
Oh, it
this
tastes
is,
like chicken.
This is delicious. Yeah, we
Tastes
should
like ass.
do more of these things. And slowly he's introducing like kind of like these culinary things. So it's going to kind of like frame itself like a cooking anime, right?
Is that a
and
genre?
then-
Yes. It's a very big... You think of a genre, there's a manga and anime. Japan prints more manga...
Talking butts.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It is. You just said that.
No, that's a thing in America.
Anime?
No, there's a book series about butts that are sentient.
I need to ask you a few questions.
But like then he starts like doing other things like, okay, well, if you don't have sunflower, if you never used sunflower for food before, you can take these leaves and you crush them up and then you can put them on your clothes and it changes your clothes to a different color. And he introduces them to dyes and paints. And then he's like, yeah, and then once you have like paints and like here's like some rocks that I found, and if you put them on, you know, it makes these black scratches. And like he makes some rudimentary art, and he makes the first piece of art this town's ever seen ever. And he's like, yeah, you hang it on the wall so it's something interesting to look at. And slowly he's introducing like these kind of cultural things to this small town
That's never had them before.
that's never had them before. And he slowly realizes that no one here has an imagination. He is the only person in the entire town that has any sort of imagination or thinks outside of
The
like
box.
creativity. He's the only man that can be creative in this entire town. And slowly, as he's introducing new things, like his relationship with the girlfriend continues, and then like we have a few more kind of like tasteful, like, ugh, that was terrible kind of sex scenes, and then like slowly it gets a little bit better, yeah. And slowly like things starting to evolve, and like the town becomes like cultural, and like artists start appearing, and the place where he got the rice now starts cooking different types of rice, and with vegetables, and then they figure out oil, and then he sparks the imagination and creativity of everyone in the town. And then at like kind of the halfway point through the movie, we're going to have that town start reaching out to other towns.
Oh,
And start spreading that culture and starting to spread art and beauty and all of those things. And then two townsfolk from two different towns get into a fight over a wild chicken.
Oh, because while he's introduced this stuff, he hasn't introduced the structure of how to raise the chicken. So they've just been finding the stuff out in the wild while they haven't progressed to the point where they can actually just start farming chicken.
Right, I mean, that stuff takes time, you know. And they get into a fight over one of these wild chickens, and one of the townsfolk get killed in the fight.
And this is the first person to ever get murdered?
And it's the first, like, conflict. Like, the first real conflict.
You know what video game character hunts chickens a lot? Zelda.
No, specifically not. You mean to chickens in Zelda, the chickens attack you and kill you.
That is true.
They attack Zelda?
Yeah.
And they're called,
and Link,
and they're called cuckoos.
Cuckoos.
Yeah. So, anyway, so the two towns
It's
get
no
into...
fun when it doesn't piss you off.
It pisses me off plenty.
And so the two towns get into a fight, and like, the two towns are like, you killed one of our people. And he's like, yeah, but we wanted that chicken.
Was it accidental or
And-
purpose? Like they purposely killed him? They
We're
purposely
going to
took
say
his
it was
life?
an accidental killing.
Okay.
And the first, like, this becomes like a really big conflict between the two towns, and it turns into like the first war that anyone started to think. And then like both towns start using their creativity and imagination that this guy brought to now make weapons and to arm themselves and armor themselves. And the guy the entire time is like, no, we don't need to do this. We can be creative in the ways that we solve these problems
That
too.
guy's
There's
like,
enough
where
for
the
it.
fuck's that waterfall? I gotta go.
Right.
Yeah, because you could have a scene where he's like, oh, people tell them just using their hands to fucking plant shit. Like, no, you can do this. And he gets like a fucking rock, attaches to his dick. Oh, this is a hoe. And you see some guy take the rock, turn it, and now he's got a spear.
Right, or an axe, or yeah, absolutely. And the guy's like, no, we can't. No, this isn't the way to do things. And our big finale to the movie, we're going to have like the two towns finally just like ignoring him and going to war, and he's trying to stop them. And the rain starts pouring down again. There's thunder and lightning, and as the towns are going to battle, they're battling back up to where they found originally, and like he gets into a fight with the two town leaders, and he jumps in the middle of between the two of them, and they kill him instead of each other, and they stab him with the weapons or whatever. And he is, as he's bleeding and he's kind of like stumbling back, he's like, "This isn't what I meant," and he falls into the water. And like we'll get the scene of like him getting like swept away into the water, into the rain, into this turbulent rapids, and then like the rain stops, and a hand reaches down and grabs him and pulls him out of the water, and it's the same guy wearing the same clothes, and he looks at him and he's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And he's like, "Where am I?" I was like, "Oh, you're outside of town 4." And he looks around, and the world is back to the way it was. Bland, without imagination, without creativity.
A reset button.
It is an isekai mixed with returner plotline. I like this.
Yeah, and then he wanders through.
I swear they're just making up
meets-
genres.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just fucking making up
Well,
genres.
manual one.
He meets the girl again, and he starts looking around and sees like we're all like everything's back to normal, like when you first ran into it, and he's like, "I can do better this time."
Yeah.
And then credits roll.
He meets the girl again, and he's like,
Okay, so
turn over.
turn around. Okay, now grab your ankles and
Yeah, could you put a little hip action into this? Can you try it? Come on,
Go like this.
Just put it in your mouth.
returner storyline is just sort of like what it says. It's a guy like, oh, he's going through life, and it's just like, oh, I can do things better this time because he somehow inexplicably gets put back in time before all the bad shit happens. But he has future knowledge and future information.
Yep.
And so it is a. I love it because there's several that combine the two, and they're pretty fun.
there's
Well,
no,
do
there's
we just want to call it now?
there's
No,
no
like
there's
I like
no way
Daniel's
to,
idea, but I want to hear your guys' idea. 'Cause that was very interesting. I've read a couple similar sort of ideas.
Oh, okay.
Every idea's had as a. I like your idea though.
Oh, well, thank you.
Like, cause so who wants to go next?
I'll
Like,
go.
I'm going to
I'll
be
go.
say like I'm going to be happy
I'll
with pretty
come
much
in
anything you do because
I'll come in
one of
second
my
to
guilty
Daniel.
guilty pleasures currently is isekai. I've read some of the trashier ones. I've read some good ones, and I've read some that I've stopped after a few because they're just repeats. I've read a lot of these types of stories. They're one of my favorites.
there better be dirty panties in this one, Tyler.
There's not.
Okay.
There's not.
If you notice, there wasn't even panties in mine.
Oh.
Yeah, because they hadn't developed underwear yet.
That's right.
Gross.
Sick. Okay, so
You're the only one that writes stuff down.
It's so I can keep my thoughts in order.
Oh, okay.
so this is more of a like a streaming series, Netflix.
Wait, who's the chick? The lady, the girl, voice wise.
Oh, I honestly
Tara
don't know voice
Strong.
actors very well.
Oh, Tara Strong.
Tara Strong.
Tara
She did Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah.
One of the Harley Quinns, yeah.
And the
And
only
also
other,
Twilight Sparkle.
and the oh god, get rid of Tara Strong. Okay, so the only other one that we gotta cast is the dude that
Oh, the old man.
yeah.
I want him to be someone like that has a really nice old and kind of wizened voice that like
J.K.
Liam
Simmons.
Neeson.
Who?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Milton.
I'm sorry, who?
Liam Neeson.
Liam
Liam Neeson.
It's pronounced Rowan.
That's who
Atkinson.
you're trying to say.
I'm bad with names.
Leanne Neeson
Neeson.
is the first attempt.
I'm bad with names, Daniel.
We'll go with him. We need one big name actor who.
Like, he's done a lot of voice work for animated series. He's done a couple of
Has he?
Yeah. He's done a couple Studio Ghibli. He's Aslan.
That Liam
That means nothing to me. Who's
Liam
Aslan?
Neeson is.
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
Who's Aslan?
Luann Nielsen.
Aslan.
Aslan?
Aslan.
The
Is it
lion
the-
from Lion the Witch of the Wardrobe.
Oh, okay.
I could
I
spend
love
a
it when he
whole
sings Crazy Train.
I could spend a whole session just listening to Cody butcher people's names.
Like, Saturday Night Live did a sketch of like people always get actors' names wrong. I wish I had that fictional.
Yeah,
life.
it was the parents' celebrity translator. You know, Geronimo Jim. Who? Keanu Reeves. Weren't even close.
Yeah. So I need that in real life.
Jesus. Okay. So this is more of like a streaming Netflix series, like 10 episode deal.
Wait. Are we allowed to go back to where we came from in Isekai?
Yeah.
Multiple times.
That is a very common subplot of the show. It's like, okay, only reason I'm going through all this shit is because I'm trying to get back to where I came from.
Multiple times. Like you can go there and back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a comic book, and the whole premise was a guy like had a portal to like prehistoric era, and he would go back in time, hunt and kill a dinosaur, bring it back, and then cook it and serve it.
Yeah.
Would you count that as an isekai?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like 11/22/63.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
one of my favorite.
I liked that movie, that show quite a bit.
I didn't watch the show. I read the book.
I like 12/18/92.
One of my favorite isekai is just a common family sort of diner sort of atmosphere that once.
So my isekai takes place
mine's already finished.
at a family diner, and they wind up
Pandering.
at a strip club diner.
But yeah, yeah. So
Work dirty panties into this family diner, and we got gold, baby.
no, I'm not really a panties guy.
Oh, I don't like you.
It's more of a G-string, really. Is it?
Oh, there's still panties though.
Okay.
Yeah, I like hearing a whistle when somebody farts. I know I don't have the confidence for that joke.
You can still wear panties and have a whistle. You see a little preparation, a little stretching.
I'm sorry, Tyler.
I don't know if I want to go anymore.
Yes, you do, because I want to hear your idea. You're a very creative person.
Okay, so shut up. So it starts with a diner full of dirty panties, and just a whole bunch of whistling farts. No. So
And they're all watching My Little Pony.
so our main character. So the main setting is a comic book store.
Okay.
So our main character works at the comic book shop. I can't decide if we want to do animated or live action. It kind of depends on the budget that we have.
All right.
As long as the person is sexy, because all comic book owner stores are sexy.
His name's Laniel Oldkirk.
Newkirk.
Newkirk.
So it's you got our everyman main character works at a comic book store.
Works or owns?
He works there.
Okay.
He works there. So he's kind of like, I'm trying to think of how to word it. Like he's not in the best mood type of guy. Like people like him, but he's kind of like that brash. Like he's kind of like in a bad mood constantly. Like someone like buys
He's cranky. He's curmudgeon.
Yeah. So someone buys like a Flash comic book, and he's like, he's not rude to the person. He's like, oh great, a fucking speeder. They're just so important. He just kind of like again, he's not rude to the customer, but whether it's internal monologue or mumbling, but he's just like
his outside thoughts keep becoming his inside thoughts keep becoming his outside thoughts.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we want to have him just like mumble it, so like it stays, because he's not mean, but like he's just like you wouldn't expect him to work in a comic book store if he's like tearing down.
Oh, there's a Deadpool movie. Guess what I'm selling a lot of this week?
Yeah, or like someone like puts a Superman comic. He's like, oh great, an overpowered alien. He just like tears them apart.
Oh yeah, they picked up the book and let me guess. The villain has kryptonite and Superman just overcomes it. Okay.
Yeah, but again, like he's not a dick to the customers. It's just his personal thoughts.
Picks up a Batman book. Oh, and there's going to be 20 pages of him brooding in a dark cave.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And they don't show Batman's dick no more.
They're like, oh yeah, Martha Wayne got shot. So that's kind of how we're seeing him. And then we're gonna do like what I imagine people would think of stereotype. Like I think of like fanboys, like Kristen Bell and fanboys. You've got like your token hot chick,
Who likes
so,
comic books?
So she's the one that owns the comic book store.
Oh.
So she kind of just like, you know, he
Are we going with Kristen Stewart or
Kristen Bell.
Bell?
Sure.
Okay.
I want to give her the goth black hair though.
Oh, Dax Shepard could be the.
No, I don't want Dax Shepard.
Oh, okay. All right.
Um,
Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson.
Seriously?
I think Jake Johnson's too old.
Okay.
Jake Johnson's too old.
Okay.
So
I'll keep thinking.
So you come to find out through the thing, you know, there's like a back storeroom, and that's where our main character lives. So as the story progresses, you find out that like
He's not super psyched to be here, but he's here because it's also a roof over his head.
yeah, so he was like sleeping outside, and like out of the kindness of her heart, she
Or
gave
maybe
him a
it's
job.
Maybe it's a high school buddy, and she found him. Like, hey.
No, like they don't know each other.
Well, they have to because he lives in the
now,
store.
Now they know each other, but like he was sitting outside.
Oh, it's kind of like a blind side type thing. It's like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I need someone to run the store. You need a roof over your head. Don't fuck me over. You can sit in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
It's
Until
just
you
like
get on your feet.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, you know, it's kind of be like a nerd type thing, you know, like.
Oh, scruff him up a little bit. Tom Holland. It's also an inside joke because he's Spider-Man. It's like an inside, like he hates comic books.
Can we afford Tom Holland? I don't know what our budget is.
We're
Like,
getting to the
do we have-
budget
do we have a
later. Your
blank
budget's
slate?
going to be defined by your pitch.
Okay, if we've got a blank slate, then yes, we'll do a scruffy Tom Holland.
Okay.
I want British Tom Holland.
Okay.
I want British Tom Holland.
What about Evans Peter or Peter Evans?
Peter
Sorry.
Evans.
Yeah,
I don't know. I want.
Who's
I
Peter
want
Evans?
he played Quicksilver in the Fox movies.
The one oh okay.
I'm going with British Tom Holland.
All right.
Just because I want to hear British Tom Holland.
Okay.
So
Have you seen him? Sorry, I know. Everyone's been interrupting you. Have you seen him singing Umbrella on Lip Sync Battle?
yep.
Am I the only one who got turned on by that video?
Evan
No.
Peters or Tom
okay,
Holland?
just checking.
Evan Peters or Tom Holland?
Tom Holland.
Okay.
So you at the end of the first episode, he goes to his room, goes to sleep. He wakes up, and it's the same similar looking room, but I don't know if we'll do it with like the lighting, but it's clearly something different. And this is where you find out where he came from. So like he gets up and, you know, goes to the window, and he's like, "Oh great, you know, here we go again." And a superpowered being flies past the window.
Okay, so it's Reversikai.
Well, he's from a
Are
universe.
you making shit up?
That one I think I did.
He's,
But
he's from a universe where superheroes exist, but like they're not like mean like the boys. It's more of a Kingdom Come type world where there's just
way too fucking many.
There's
of them.
just a lot of superheroes. So like
a normal person is a rarity, not
yes,
the majority.
So like like in their universe, there's comic book stories, but it's about like firefighters and police officers, you know, things that don't necessarily exist because you don't need a firefighter if you have someone that can control water and stuff like that. So like his dream was to be a firefighter, you know, to be someone like that. And, you know, now he works for a group called Damage Control, which I know I'm stealing that from Marvel, but
Right.
I was also trying to hint at us. And, you know, basically like they, you know, a building gets destroyed, and like he's not jaded about, I mean, he doesn't hate superheroes, but he's kind of like, you know,
this shit again.
you know, like he's not like, God, I wish I had superpowers. He's just like, I wish I could do something that was meaningful instead of, oh, they destroyed this building, now I have to clean all this shit up so that we can rebuild, and, you know,
So
all
it
that
can
stuff.
get destroyed again.
So, and this will be told like throughout the series, but you find out he's at a site cleaning up, and then a speedster comes by, and the speedster thinks that he's saving him, and like, you know, takes him, you know, they're moving at super speed, and I can't figure out how to make this happen exactly, whether there's like a evil speedster or something. Something happens to where he's the speedster loses control of,
And he gets
our main
thrown
character.
out of reality.
Yes, and he gets thrown through some kind of, maybe this speedster can, you know, create tunnels through time space, and that's what allows him to travel
he hits the Speed Force, but while he's traveling through the Speed Force, he accidentally loses grip of.
Yeah, I mean it's clearly an accident that sends him through, and it like lands him outside this comic book store, and then that's where he meets the owner, and then leads us into that type of world.
Okay.
So, and like I said, we're
That type of world? You mean our world?
yeah, our world.
That
So
type
then
of world.
it's just like his relationship with is changing because I want to have a kid character that goes to school around the corner, that comes into the comic book store and buys weekly comics and stuff like that, and finally he just has enough and he's like, why do you keep wasting your money like reading this shit? Like, oh, this person does something. Well, they have a superpower. Of course, like he's angry and jaded, and this kid's like, well, why wouldn't I? It's this kid like breaks it down. It's like they have all these abilities. Like they can take over the world, but they don't. They use, they give up, all their lives, to do this. And so it's him starting to realize that, okay, these people, didn't live with superheroes, but they understand, these people have given things up and everything like that. So then he starts a podcast.
I was wondering why you were getting ready to smile.
He starts a podcast, and he brings in, like 1 week he brings in like a firefighter and a police officer and a nurse and doctor and yada yada, and they talk about superheroes and they relate it back to like them being heroes as well. And so he at the end his thing at the end is okay, so if you were a if you could have a superpower, what would it be, type of thing like that. So he's trying to bridge the world that he came from to which the one that he lives in now.
So is the jadedness come from like, I just came from a world where these guys are all over the fucking place, and they are like, oh, it's nice to be a superhero, great superheroes, and he comes to the world without superheroes, but superheroes are still more idolized than these other positions, and that's where he's getting the disconnect?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas like even when there's real heroes, people that put themselves in danger, he's like, they care more about this. But then he doesn't understand why people,
And he doesn't see the connection between one and the other. Like, maybe that inspired me to, while I can't be Superman, I can be this instead.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do a take on the wide-eyed innocence of a child, I guess. Where the child's like, I can't lift up a burning building, but, if someone's being mean, I can stand up for them, type of thing. So then that's why...
Then throw them in a building and light the building on fire.
Exactly. And so then that's why he does the whole podcast where he brings in, people that he views as heroes, and then they talk about, I wanted to become a cop because I used to read GCPD comics and, stuff like that.
Okay, so I have... like your final scene, if you don't have a final scene for that.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so the final scene is like the guy's like wrapped up like a series of the podcast, like done recording or whatever, and like shuts everything down, and he's like going to the corner store, and he's like walking, and he walks by the kid's like house, and the kid's house is on fire, and he's looking around, and like everyone's like, oh my god, we should do something, someone do something, call 911, call the fire department, and he like rips his jacket off and runs into the burning building.
I like that.
Maybe he doesn't rip his jacket off all the way, right? And it's hanging off his back somehow, so it's sort of like a cape.
Well, he kind of like throws it behind him, and we do like a freeze frame where like it's like hanging in midair.
Then we cut to a wire shot, and he's actually running away from us. No, I'm sorry. No, that's I like that.
But I figured then then he calls his podcasting damage control podcasting because it's me and you three.
Wait, I'm a hero?
Formed a group called DCP.
Wait, so I'm a
right.
hero in this, right? Because I'm like a cop or something.
So you're trying to tell us something, Tyler?
I was trying to make a Tenacious D reference.
This is a
By the way, I
tribute.
just noticed
Me
that
and
is a
KG.
Link shirt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kill him. But like I said, I didn't think it would be a full movie. It'd be like a 10-episode series.
Can my character be played by Jake Johnson?
No.
Yeah, you can be Jake Johnson.
I'm
it'll-
asking that we can't afford Jake Johnson.
Oh, whoa, but Timothy Chalamet, or no,
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
No, that's the reason we can't afford him. We spent too much on Tom Holland, so we gotta get other people to play.
Okay.
him.
Can we
I'll-
still afford David Harbour for me?
Yeah, we can do
Okay.
David Harbour for you.
Okay, so I'll be Tom Holland. You're gonna be David Harbour.
Harbour, yep.
Who are you gonna be, Cody?
I'm gonna be Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, and then we're just gonna write Adam.
No, I
out.
want Howard Wolowitz to be me.
No, still too much money.
Fuck. Okay. All right.
We'll get the guy who played him in the porn parody version,
Ooh. Okay.
The Big Bang Theory.
No. That guy's got way too big of a cock to be Adam.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're not gonna see the cock.
Who can be me? Napoleon Dynamite.
No, still too much money. Like
He ain't doing shit.
We're gonna get a temp to play you, and he's gonna do it for experience.
Wow.
An unpaid internship.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
I'm joking, Adam. You can have anyone you want play you.
I don't want anyone now.
All right.
Just put
so
it.
Adam's
Just put
character's
it
been
to
cut from the movie.
We'll just cut Adam and just redistribute his lines.
And we'll cut Adam, and then we'll replace.
He
him
doesn't
with
really do anything on the podcast anyway.
Yeah, we'll replace him with a cute animal mascot.
No, put one of those tennis balls on a stick they use for markers.
Andy Serkis. We'll get Andy Serkis.
We'll
to
get
play
Andy
Adam.
Okay.
So this guy, he's really disgusting looking, right? Yeah. Okay.
And we just end up with fucking Gollum.
Yeah.
Like, the pressure.
Can I get a Gollum doing the professionally unprofessional opening?
Probably a lot better than I did.
I can't find the porn parody of it on IMDb.
Okay.
Type in.
Any other... Do you have a title?
I do not have a title.
How about a little inside joke to Damage Control Podcasting? Call it Untitled.
That's fair. That was our original name until we realized it was another podcast.
Well, I had an idea. It's a little wordy, but Heroes of Heroes?
I feel like that's too. That gives it away.
Everyday Heroes.
Okay.
I like
feel like
Untitled.
that-
Just
I
because
like
it
that.
kind of hints at tie into us.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyday Heroes.
You didn't get my Tenacious D?
I wasn't listening. What was it?
Okay. Like...
I said me and you three formed a group called DCP.
Okay.
Oh.
I thought that was awfully melodic.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to think of jokes, like the is a Kai one, but I thought that was good or whatever.
It was
Well,
bad.
we'll see. Like,
We'll see.
You can skip a beat. Oh, that was
all
bad.
right. So we have two very solid pitches here. I like both these ideas. Now we're gonna get to Adam.
I hate
Now we're gonna get that.
And now to third place, Adam.
I hate mine after this.
Everyone take a nap.
Like I said, I've read a lot of isekai.
No, this one sucks. Okay, so
There's been some about sucking too.
this one really sucks in the metaphorical sense. Okay, so I try to do something different. Not horror, not thriller, not gritty. It's like a kids movie from the 80s.
Okay.
So it's
okay.
got like a little bite to it, but you know.
Mm.
Okay. So this movie, I don't have a title.
Okay.
But it's about a dad.
Chad Alva is the porn parody of Howard Wolowitz, by the way. So that's who you would
Let me
be.
see him. Let me see him.
He's kind of goofy
I
looking.
got more defined pecs.
He
Okay.
kind of fits with what you're looking at.
Okay. So there's a dad. It's basically about the relationship between a father and son and father and son and son and stepdad.
okay.
All right. So the dad, the biological dad, is played by Shea Wiggum. He was in Boardwalk Empire. He was the guy in Skull Island that gets hit and blows up. We know who. Okay.
Yeah, I
All
think I
right.
knew you were talking about.
So opening credits, you hear a really poppy song like from the not from the 80s. It's a pop song, but it's like
Call me maybe.
take who's the ginger from Britain that has all those
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. Take that evergreen song, but put like 80 cents on it. You know, like it's
80 cents.
80
I've
cents.
heard of 50 cents.
Yes. But so you take a contemporary pop song, but you put like 1980s synthesizers, and you make it like that. And then as the opening credits are going, you see Shea Wiggum and the dad and the kid. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I just have a joke.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so did you know that 50 Cent used to play football?
You couldn't get a quarterback? Something?
Well, that's where we're going, yeah.
Wow.
But before, when he was playing football, he was 75 cents, and then he got the quarterback.
Gotcha. Anyway, so you see pictures of Shea Wiggum playing with his son, and it's really bright. It's like really bright, and it's wide angles, really like lovely. They're playing in. They got a nice house, and in the back of the house is a bunch of timber. And before you enter the timber, there's this like fence that Shea built, and it's they enter into the woods to play, and they play like LARPing. They go out there and they do like nights and stuff. And you see all
like the kid and his dad.
The kid and his dad, yeah, Shea and the son go out and they have all these adventures. That's him spending time with his son. They have all these adventures in the timber, and they're like nights. And then there's always this cave, and in this it's just basically like a little, to us normal people, it's just like a normal like just like a little divot into the earth. But he's
like, that's the cave.
Yeah, that some weird dragon lives in. He's like, his son's buys into the world.
So it's a hole in the ground. His dad like, okay, don't go in there. There's a dragon in there.
No, it's not in the ground. It's like on the side of a bluff.
Right, but the story is like, okay, be careful, don't go in there. There's a dragon in it as to protect his story.
And the kid is at the age where his dad's fucking cool. Like he's fucking loving this stuff. So every now and then we see glimpses of this world through the kid's eyes, and it's like I'm
getting a lot of Bridge of Terabithia vibes.
I don't know what that is.
You don't?
No.
Oh, wow.
It'll make a normal human cry.
I know what Bridges of Madison County is.
No, you don't.
Okay. So anyway, that
I actually used to live near the bridges of Madison County.
So see, that's where I know it from. Anyway, so God,
I don't know why Cody's laughing.
Well, because you lived in Madison County.
No, I didn't live in Madison County. I lived in Fort Madison. That was the town.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't Madison County, but legit like.
Yeah, you lived by Madison Bridges.
Yeah, it was drivable.
Yeah.
Like it was like 2-hour drive. I could go to the
that
bridges
was
of
the
Madison
most
County.
evil fucking look of it.
That's why I was laughing, Daniel.
Yeah, like I just didn't understand why, because it wasn't a joke. Like I legitimately lived in driving distance of the Madison County bridges.
No, I found it humorous though.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this
Wow.
He said it, not me. Don't be pointing at me. Anyway, so that's all the opening credits, right? It's all like, and then
like, do we have voiceover? As a kid, me and my dad were the Knights Defender of.
No. But every time, at some points, like the music will fade low, and you'll hear the dad and the son talking. That's where you get the narrative about the cave. Like this mysterious dragon lives in there. It's basically just his way, not to have his underage kid going there. And then, right, the title comes in, and then the glossiness of this happy life kind of fades into normal vision, and you hear either like a car wreck or something in the background. Basically, the dad dies.
Push the button.
No.
That would have worked.
No, I know.
Fuck that.
I know.
Oh,
I didn't
man.
like the dad dies of cancer or something. The dad's no longer gone.
The dad has
The
cancer
dad
and
is no longer
dies in a
gone,
car
so he's
wreck.
alive.
No, he's dead. He's
And
no
then a
longer
plane
gone.
crashes.
Okay, so this isn't going to be a divorce situation. This is dad's gone.
And knocks him into the river.
Dad he's dead. He's dead. It wasn't a nasty breakup. He either died of it wasn't a divorce or anything. It was either he died of some medical condition or some sort of accident.
Okay, so there's no.
He died in a fire that some guy that worked at a comic book store was trying to save him in.
Exactly. And okay. So and then you see like all the LARPing outfit that the dad and the kid wore, like leaning against the wall.
The way the dad died, autoerotic asphyxiation.
No!
With dirty panties in his mouth. Anyway, you see the LARPing outfit in the kids room. He kept it as a memento, but then you just see like a time, like
more and more stuff's covering it.
No, yeah, and it's getting dirty. Like it hasn't been touched, and then like a year or two, maybe 2 years. Not a lot of time, but enough time's gone by, and the mom's remarried. The new
Damn, that was really fucking quick.
It's years.
Well, I don't want I still want the kid to be a kid.
2 years. They had a family together. He died in a horrible autoerotic asphyxiation accident.
People process grief differently.
Well, but I still.
She processes grief by getting fucked.
Well, I still need the kid to be a kid. So
right.
So
We don't want to get to the point where it's stepdad talking to 30-year-old son that's never
no,
around.
not even that. I still want the kid to be at the age where he still uses imagination. He can't be a teenager. It's got to be like a kid. So
Yeah, so like the kid's like 6 with his dad, and then now like maybe he's 10.
yeah,
Or
something like that. Yeah.
10, maybe 12 fixing to go on 13.
Say what?
Maybe he's 12 fixing to go to 13.
So okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so the stepdad. He's played by
The
Nick,
nude stepdad.
the new dad, the stepdad. He's played by Nick Chinlund. And if you know Nick Chinlund, he's got like that voice that sounds like he just smoked 2 packs of cigarettes and drank a bunch of whiskey. He's got that type of voice, and he looks really rough. He looks scary. So
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's a scary face.
But he's not mean. He's not his dad.
Right.
And he's trying to bond with him, whatever. So the kid's obviously having trouble because he feels like his dad's being replaced. And I'm not sure what the exciting incident is, but he gets it in his head that his dad is out in that timber and he's had enough of this shit. He's gonna go get his dad. So he puts his LARPing clothes back on, and he passes that gate that his dad made. And when he passes that gate, that's when he goes into the world that is.
Okay, is he really going into the world, or are we going to play it as imagination still?
To him, he is in that world. We see it as an audience member. We see that world. We don't see the timber. We see this world that him and his dad have made.
Okay.
Okay. So he goes in. I don't think I got the assignment correct.
Probably not.
Okay.
No, it sounds like you do.
Oh.
Good.
Anyway, so he goes into this world, and you see him battling. You see him battling an animal, and then like it cuts back to the house, and it's shot. So when we're in the world, it's shot in this cinematic Wizard of Oz type of way. Like the lighting's very theatrical, very like, and then
Everything's brighter. Everything's
and maybe we
popping.
even film it on a soundstage, and so it's obviously a soundstage. Like it's meant to look.
Are we doing it cheesy like where
No,
you
no,
can
no.
notice all the cardboard cutouts?
No.
Okay.
But you know how Wizard of Oz looks like he was shot on a soundstage. There's no real locations in Wizard of Oz.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like we're in this area now.
It's made to look like that. When we cut back into the house, we're clearly we brought a camera into a real house. And then the mom's like, "Hey, where's Frank? Whatever the name of the kid is, Frank." And
Okay, it doesn't
He's
help that
outside.
you have to
Thanks,
name the
ma'am.
kid. Make a decision now.
Dean.
if I had a son, I'd either name him Perry or Abram. So whichever. But I already have a kid named Abel in real life, so let's just go with Perry.
Okay.
That's an old man's name too.
What's wrong with Perry?
It's an old man's name.
So?
What's a kid's name?
Well, Perry, we just call him PJ.
PJ. There you go. And the mom's like, "Where's PJ?" And Nick
Probably in the
Chandler,
woods getting picked on.
the stepdad's like, "Fuck." They go in the room, and the mom goes, "Oh shit." She notices the LARP stuff gone. To him, it hasn't registered because he doesn't know. And she's like, "Oh, he's in the woods." And Nick's like, "I'll go get him," because he's a legitimate good person. He just to PJ, he looks horrible because of his voice, and so he goes out and gets him. And when PJ sees him, he's the Black Knight. He's
wearing a black suit.
Yeah, he's Sauron. He looks like every evil D&D type villain. And
He's a gelatinous cube.
and he grabs the kid. And he's like, "Man, we gotta go," because the mysterious animal he's fighting with maybe was like a deer or like a dog, a loose dog. And Chinlund was trying to save him, but to him he was getting pulled back by this evil sorcerer or whatever. So he comes back, and the kids, they pass the gate, and the lights dim back out. Now we're back into reality, and he's kicking and screaming. You can see the old his LARPing clothes are falling off, and Chinlund's just like, "Man, I gotta get you."
Like he's got like his LARPing robe or something like that, and he pulls too hard and he rips it.
Yeah, And so he goes, he brings him back in, and the mom's like on the deck going, honey, he was just trying to help me. He was like, oh, I fucking hate you. And he runs back in, and Nick and the stepdad's like, he was fighting a dog. I was trying to save him and all this stuff. And the mom's like, oh.
That would be a fantastic use of your one fuck in a movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, that's true.
You're not my fucking dad.
Write that down. Fuck.
That would be a fantastic place for that.
That would catch people off guard.
Yeah.
And then, so the mom's like, hey, it's not you. You got to understand, that was him and his dad's world. Like, he hasn't been out in the woods since his dad passed away. Like, that's their world. And so Chinlin's like trying.
Are you gonna give the dad a real name? Or are you just
his name's Frank. I like the name Frank. So Chinlin, the stepdad,
Franklin the Third.
Franklin the Third. So he tries to relate, and he goes and he sews the cape back up. He kind of, the fake metal chest piece, he kind of shines it up, takes all the age out of it, and he makes a new sword for him and everything. And he's like, hey, I got you this for your adventures. And he's pissed.
Have him like try and interact with it, but not getting the mark and stuff. Be like, yeah, I reforged your armor. And he's like, it's leather armor, you sew it. Or something like that.
Something like that. So, but then he gives it to PJ, and PJ feels betrayed, like, you've taken what my dad has given me, and you destroyed it. So he goes back out so he throws it on, he goes back out in the woods, and we go through the fence, and he enters to the world again. And then we come upon the cave. And there's this mysterious sound coming out.
And he gets in his head, my dad's in there.
Is it a dragon? Is it my dad, or is it some evil force pretending to be my dad? And then these black knight, like legit black knights from Monty Python, but not funny looking black knights. They come in, they're like they're shooting bows and arrows at him and everything. And once again, Franklin III comes in to save him. And then when he takes PJ's helmet off or whatever, and he comes back into the real world, they're next door neighbor bullies, and they're throwing like fucking rocks at him. And he grabs him, pulls him back, and then Frank sits him down,
beats the living fuck out of those kids.
He's telling like, get the fuck. But see, PJ doesn't see that.
Get the belt.
Because PJ runs away. He doesn't see the part where Frank's like, dude, quit picking on my fucking son. Blah blah blah. Like, stop.
He doesn't see the heroic parts. He sees.
To him, he's an evil sorcerer. And then there's a scene where Frank and PJ sit down, and he's like, hey, I want you to have this world, but you went out there with your dad. You can't go out there by yourself. There's danger. Like that cave. You can't be on that cave. And he's like, why can't I? My dad said I couldn't go in that cave either. What's in that cave? And so Frank, trying to fit in, forms some weird, like, there's a dragon in there or whatever. And he's making it worse, because you know how you say don't do this. The kid wants to do it anymore. But he's
like, there's a dragon guarding something in there.
Yeah. So the kid's now like, I gotta go in that fucking cave, because it had
because it's the authority figure telling me not to do
something.
The quickest way not to do something is tell me to do it.
Yeah,
or the quickest way to get me to do something is tell me not to do it.
And then in his head he goes, he told me not to go in that cave because it's guarded by a dragon, because my dad's in that cave. I need to go in there. So the last half of the movie, the climactic battle, is him going back into the world, and he goes into the cave, and I never could figure this part out. I couldn't figure out what actually is the dragon. So he fights this dragon. I thought maybe like a coyote or something, but I'm like, that's pretty fucking wild to have a kid fighting a coyote.
Well, the thing is, maybe it's not a dragon. There's something there that consumes people who enter it. Like, when I grew up out in Burton as a kid, there's the Burton caves out there that were closed up because there's literally, you can be going to a cave and then there's a hole that drops like 300 fucking feet.
Oh yeah, you could have like this kind of chasm or like sinkhole kind of thing that drops them, and then there could be like the way the stalactites stalagmites are kind of like around.
Stalactites and stalagmites, you just both like teeth.
Yeah, exactly. They look like teeth, or the small, like a sand, the sand pit thing that ate Boba Fett. What the fuck was that called? Sarlacc. Thank you. Like the Sarlacc pit,
Just have something in there where like he's just getting like.
No, I like it. So there is to him, there's a giant chasm in there, right? But it's really only like 5 foot. It's a 6 foot hole. It's something taller than him, but to him, it's this huge chasm. And he goes in there trying to face this dragon, falls into the hole, and that's where he meets his dad in his head. And his dad finally tells him, this is kind of jumping the whole reality of the thing, but the dad's like, hey, he's not a bad person. You need to,
I'm sorry I choked myself to death while masturbating.
Yeah.
So that's that's the only way I could get my my rocks off.
So the dad's like, hey, Franklin the Third, like this ghost or apparition is using his world. Like, hey, Franklin the Third isn't the evil sorcerer you think he is. He's here to help you. I sent him to you to take care of you. He's been sent by me. He is my knight. And then you see a hand come down and grab him and pull the kid up.
And as he's getting pulled out, he sees his dad and fade away.
And then, originally he was fighting some sort of animal, but since we're doing a whole he pulls him up, and then PJ turns around. The whole idea was he was supposed to be a wizard, the evil wizard, because he pulls the whatever those cloaks that wizards wear, and it's cloaked. It's the stepdad, but he's now revealing that he's this knight in shining armor type person.
Okay.
Well, here's what we could do. The stepdad's a judge, and so wearing the judge robes, he's like, "Oh, those are evil wizard robes."
You don't wear those outside the courtroom.
Yeah, I don't think
you do in England.
I don't think so.
There's a dressing room specifically for to put those robes on.
You know what I mean? He saw a picture of him in his judge robes and oh, he's an evil wizard.
I mean, that would be that would be fine.
Anyway,
so I know that when I come home from a long day at court, I take off my powdered wig.
Yep.
And I take off my judge robes.
They actually wear the wigs in England, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wear
in England.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said if you want to nitpick, we just go to fucking England.
So finally,
just go fuck England.
So PJ finally sees Franklin III as what he is, and they exit the world. They come back, and we enter back into normal. It's filmed normally, and finally, Nick Chinlund the whole time was filmed in low angles, the lighting. Maybe we don't
you're getting more creases than you're supposed to be getting because you're getting the shadows in his face.
Yeah, and we purposely have the actor not wash his hair for the earlier scene, so he just looks like a dirty, disgusting person because that's filtered through the kid's eyes. But then we actually see him for what he, and he's, his clothes are clean. And
then we have him played by Ryan Reynolds.
No, he's always Nick Chinlund. And then they sit down and he's like finally
Jesus, that guy is rough.
Yeah,
right?
They finally bond, and the whole resolve of the movie is that he's like, hey, that's you and your dad's thing. I will always be here to protect you if whatever we decide. I haven't PJ the Knight or whatever. Whenever PJ the Knight needs help, I will be there to help you. But that is you and your dad's thing. I will stay out of it. Maybe
I'm not here to replace your dad.
Maybe one day, me and you can have a thing. But it's like, hey, when you enter, because I was thinking of the title of the movie be whatever the name of the forest is or the name of the world. So it's like whenever you enter, just let me know so I can protect you if you need help. I won't enter that world. That is you and your dad's thing, but I want to be there to protect you if you. I wanted to make a really heartfelt kids movie. I was trying to do something.
I love this idea, and the moral of the story is you just gotta let me know if you're out in the woods.
Yeah, just if you decide to go to Nottingham, clearly we're not going to use Nottingham, but if you decide to go into Nottingham, Franklin III needs to know, and I will make sure I oversee you. Otherwise, go visit.
Can we do a radical change of dad was original dad was fantasy, and stepdad we find out is a huge sci-fi geek.
Oh, he's a Trekkie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, and then
or something along those lines. And they're just that disconnect of he doesn't really do fantasy because it's not really logical.
Yeah. At the end of the movie, the whole idea is look, that's you and your dad's thing. It's he's just being a protective dad. And then PJ finally sees him as not this evil sorcerer trying to invade, more of he was just protecting him from the wild dog, protecting him from the neighborhood bullies. Because you can't really have a. I don't know if I met the criteria.
Like I really enjoy it. Like not really having a direct transfer to another world, but I get the idea you're going for. No. Like this has. You swear you've never seen Bridge to Terabithia. You know nothing about it.
It's got this actress in it. She was in this series called New Girl. She was the main character in it.
Oh, Zoe Deschanel?
Yeah.
No, I legitimately have. I'm not being stupid.
Okay, because that's surprising. Like, because this has given me such massive Bridges.
When you said Bridges of Terabithia, the first thing I pictured in my head
was Bridges of Madison County.
No,
hey, didn't you live by the bridges of Madison County?
Yes.
Oh my God!
No, it was that. Speaking of Kristen Stewart, it was that movie with Kristen Stewart in it and Dax Shepard, where the house goes into space.
Zathura.
That's what I was picturing in my head when you said.
I think it shares an actor.
Yeah, the kid.
The kid.
He was.
Hey,
he
kid.
was in the Hunger Games.
On your head, kid.
Jennifer Lawrence.
No. Josh Hutcherson. Thank you. You got me there.
So the only
Didn't
cast.
have to choke myself.
The only cast. Holy shit. The only casting I don't have is the mom and the kid.
Michelle Monaghan for the mom.
What is the name of the movie?
Whatever the name of.
We gotta think of a fantasy forest. Evermore Forest.
Evermore. That's the name of something, isn't it? That's the name of.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
What's the name of? Give me a fantasy. Give me a.
Isekai Forest.
The Spoom.
Spoom.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen that comic?
No.
Oh, there's an adventure, and he's like, I'm lost in the Spoom, and it shows a map, and it's like trees, and it's a Spoom, and then the person next to him was like, you're holding the map upside down.
Dirty Panties Forest.
What's another word for Twilight?
Sparkle.
Dusk.
Applejack Forest.
And the Dusk Woods.
Something like that. That's the name of the movie. Well, who's Michelle Monaghan?
She was in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh yeah, that's the mom. Michelle Monaghan. That's a good mom. She looks like she would bang Nick Chinlund.
Oh yeah.
And not Ralph Wiggum. Shea Wiggum. Shea Wiggum.
Ralph Wiggum. I'm in danger.
No.
Because Shea Wiggum looks like a soccer dad. He looks like the stereotypical Boy Scout leader. Shit.
Who's playing the kid?
I don't know any kids.
Yeah, some youth actor.
Yeah. Save someone from the Disney machine and give him.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I like all three of your guys' pitches.
But they all suck.
Mm-hmm.
No, like
now let me
just rip you apart as if I'm Daniel.
Now, I was going to say, now wait a minute, I'm not the one judging here.
Tyler, you probably have a poor credit score.
My God, you criticize one. Hang
on, I gotta take a phone call.
Series of movies.
Seriously?
Yeah, continue.
Okay.
I know, but it was just funny. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't even mean about it. It was just funny.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like I can see every single one of your guys' ideas be a thing.
Well, don't talk about it until Numbnuts gets back.
What are we gonna do? Dead air? Wrong show.
Yeah, we're just gonna sit here and just be quiet.
Well, one of my other.
What's your favorite isekai?
My favorite isekai is isekai called Overlord.
You know, I keep seeing advertisements for that,
like,
and it looks good.
It is surprisingly good. It is a story. It is set in a little bit of the far future of our world. Our world has sort of become polluted to the point where it's kind of hard to be outside. So it's set as the main starting point. And VR games have reached a point where you can have almost lifelike interactions in the game where it's like, oh, I do this, and my character's doing it and whatnot. So the main character is a player of a massive online game called Yggdrasil.
Okay.
And in this game, he's played it with a bunch of other people, and they make a guild together. And they kind of role-play an evil society going to take over the world. That's the whole sort of theme of their guild. They're like, we are like the final bosses because they all play monstrous characters.
Okay.
Like, the main character is a lich. And so the game has been running for so many years now, and the servers are about to shut down. And so over the years, his guildmates have sort of fallen off, and like real world responsibilities have been like, we can't really contribute to the guild anymore. So sorry, we kind of got to go. And it just sort of ends with him being the last member still around, and he's the only one able to log in because he has an idea he's going to be there for the end of the game because he spent so much time and effort into it. Mm-hmm. And so he stays logged into the game when they're about to turn the servers off. And when the clock ticks over to where they start off, he gets transported to another world, and he is his character in the game.
Okay, who won?
I did.
Really?
Yep.
I haven't gotten
He
there yet.
said.
Yeah, we waited for the critique.
He said it so quickly. I was like, oh, really?
He said, "Adam, yours fucking sucked.
But
no one will ever love you."
the whole point is he's like a max level character from a VR game that gets transferred to another world with all the resources his guild has accumulated over 10 years of playing, including their entire treasury, including all the NPC characters that they could create for their base. And they now, all the characters like, oh, I gave this character a little bio, and they are acting according to those bios. So he has a bunch of superpower characters that all believe that he is this overlord that is the pinnacle of, like, power. And so they're all overly like, oh, of course, he's the smartest and most powerful person in the world. And he makes a casual joke about taking over the world, and his servants are like, oh, let's make that happen for him. And so it's like, now he has to play the role of an evil overlord to maintain, because he's kind of afraid that if he goes off script, his NPCs will rebel against him. Because they realize, oh, this guy's just a fucking human, let's kill him.
I think that's what happened in Germany in the 30s.
What happened in Germany in the 30s?
Not a whole lot.
Oh.
If you ask Germany.
Yeah. And so it is all this sort of comedy where they're slowly taking over this world, and every time his servants just assume that he's thought about everything, even though they're doing most of the work. They just assume, of course he thought about this in advance. That's the reason he told me to do this. He's like 1,000 steps ahead of me. And they just further reinforce that they think so highly of him, like there's nothing you can do to sort. It just keeps on closing tight around that he can't give up the act.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I always thought it was weird that, like, it felt like in the 90s there was just a ton of, like, isekai-like movies that came out. Like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and Beastmaster 2.
Is this a contemporary term that's been retroactively fit, or is it?
It is a term that was created by Japanese culture. But we've been
recently.
I don't think recently, but we've only been using it recently.
Oh, okay.
We've
Gotcha.
been using it recently. It's just been a massive boom in these types of stories and the common
parlance
of Japanese society. Like I said earlier, a lot of it I think is derived from a sort of escapism sort of atmosphere. A lot of people sort of like kind of unhappy in their lives and just sort of like the idea of like going to someplace else.
Gotcha.
There was a ton of movies in like the late 80s, early 90s that came out of Hollywood that were that kind of the same theme, and then we had that boom there, and now Japan's getting their boom now-ish.
Yeah, and like it's starting to peter off a little bit because the idea is getting really overplayed.
Gotcha.
So, like I was saying, like no particular order.
No particular order.
Here we go.
Adam.
Oh, God.
Adam, you have a small penis.
I really love your story. I absolutely adore the idea of the father-son dynamic. Using his world to try and cope with what's happening in his real life is what a lot of us sort of do sometimes. We will take either our aggressions or say stuff we ourselves couldn't do as somebody else with this sort of masked sort of persona that we can get behind by pretend or through the filter of like, this isn't me, this is this guy. Stuff like I really like that coming of age story of like the realization that him deep down probably he knows the dude's not a bad guy, but in his subconscious his dad who's still around gives him the courage to be like, okay, maybe I should give this guy a chance. I really like that.
Okay.
Tyler,
can I add an Easter egg to mine?
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. I just thought of it and I thought it'd be funny. So you know how my character, he people bring up comic books.
Wait,
and,
wait,
he kind of
your character. You're the hero. You're playing the hero.
No.
I was picturing Cody from the podcast playing the hero.
I'm talking about my character from my story.
Oh
No, I'm not that vain. I'm not M. Night Shyamalan.
you're not Carly Simon.
So he, they hand him a comic book. He's like, "Oh, fucking speedster." This, I want him to be handed a Sinstodian comic book. And him like flip through it and be like, nah,
Garbage.
yeah. Like I just like if this movie was actually made like a whole bunch of like Damage Control podcasting references and
That
just
would
be
be
like,
cool.
nah, fuck it. I just thought of that.
I like the idea of a guy, it's the reversing of the idea. A guy coming from a super fantastical world to a sort of mundane one. Being like having a connection he couldn't have made in his own world because they're just so outshined by like the superpowered godlike beings that are abundant in it. I like the moral of your story.
Ha! Fuck you, Adam. I win.
There's still one more person. Hang on.
Fuck you, Adam. Out of both of us, I won.
And Daniel,
Yes.
I really like the idea behind yours too, like that
Hey,
atmosphere.
just remember, he gave you a dirty look when you tried to make that joke. So
Right.
Write
That's
that
why
down.
it's factored in on the back of this.
Okay.
I really like your idea of the atmosphere you created like that, like the cause and the effect of things that happening, of unintended consequences of something being added to the world that didn't previously happen. I like that idea to the extreme, like because that idea gets thrown around a lot. Like I feel like if you jump a few steps in the process, you don't have respect for the process. So if you jump from throwing a rock to now we have this, it can get real dangerous quickly because the effort it took to get that can be real dangerous. Like the unintended consequences being the driving factor behind that, I think is great. Like all the good intention in the world, sort of hell is paid with good intention sort of thing. I really like that atmosphere, and then even more, I like the returner aspect of like, okay, let me see if I can get it right this time.
Daniel,
Cody, it's the road to hell is paved with. Man, you cat out of water.
Like I said,
Daniel's gotten 10 minutes worth of praise.
Like, let me see.
People in glass houses shouldn't cook in kitchens that are too
Because
hot.
I'll fog up the windows. You got what I was saying, though,
I know.
right?
I just like giving you shit.
Yeah, I know.
The road to hell is paved with concrete.
And I like the double aspect of.
Okay,
him-
we get it. You liked it.
Yes. And so my choice is Adam.
Really?
I really enjoyed your story like that.
Oh.
Like, don't be wrong. Like, the ideas behind both yours are great. Like, you put like a lot of feeling into it, and I'm a sucker for a feeling story.
That caught me off guard.
Mine had
Me
feeling.
too. I thought.
Yeah, I thought.
Well, no, like
I
I
had it too.
The
Well,
comic
like I
book
said-
store owner, she gets felt up all the time in my show.
well, that's just it. Like, you're assuming I like the naughty bits of it. Like, I like all aspects.
There's emotional.
I'd watch and read every single one of your guys' ideas. I would just, if I objectively would put it in a list, I would put yours first.
That's
No.
fair. Adam had a hell of a pitch.
Adam stole my idea. I would just like to point that out.
Oh, yeah, Adam, you did?
I had
You
it
plagiarist bastard.
I had it all written down, and then he stole it from me. He's like, hey, Tyler, I can't think of a good idea. Can I borrow yours? And out of the kindness of my heart,
But to be fair, he had
stole it
Ralph
from me.
Wiggum as the dad.
yeah,
Can I have the turtle dove to sign?
you don't get the
No,
turtle dove.
that's
to sign.
dead air.
Fuck.
That's a dead air thing. That's
I'll
right.
never get my name on there. Okay, I am legitimately caught off guard. Thank you.
No, like, I legitimately, everybody brought a good idea. Like, I love all your fucking ideas. It was, I will say yours a little bit more on the nose because you went a little safer, but both your guys' ideas,
You
How long
notice
was
how they had a quote unquote private thread? Yeah.
Okay.
Now I see how it
Private
is.
discourse, and now Adam's winning.
Yep.
We see what happened
I have
here.
spoken to each and every one of you on a private message of some
No.
kind,
I don't know.
No.
and I
don't
have
seem
dirt
to-
on all of you.
I don't think so.
That's because I asked you. That's because I asked you to throw dirt on me.
Of course you have dirt
Don't
on me
kink
'cause
shame
I'm
me.
so
I
unclean.
wasn't trying to. You brought it out.
Oh yeah.
All right, Adam.
All right. I've had this topic, and I have not won this in so long that
Has it
I've.
been that long?
Yeah.
No, you've You
just
had
want,
pitched
yeah,
an
you had the
idea.
inanimate horror object one not too
Oh
long
shit!
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you guys fans of Toy Galaxy?
I'm sorry, what?
Toy Galaxy, the YouTube channel.
I have never heard of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway,
What is it?
Are you guys fans of Tic Tac Toe? No?
No.
All right, not related whatsoever.
yeah, no, I was just
Don't worry about it.
making a little convo. Okay, no. So like, biker mice from Mars,
Oh, yeah, they're
cows
getting
from
a resurrection.
cows from Moo Mesa,
Oh.
Battletoads, Ninja Turtles,
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks. Thank you. Yeah, you get the point. Okay, so what I want you to do is take an animal,
SWAT cats.
SWAT cats. Take an animal.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Yeah, exactly. Take an animal and you turn it into a superhero force, firemen, just doctors.
We're going to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle an animal.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the classifications. They got to have it. What turns these animals into anthropomorphized has to be unique. Whether it be the ooze or the asteroid that comes in, it has to be a unique way that these animals become anthropomorphized. That's one thing. They have to have a unique job. Doesn't have to be a superhero. It could be the plumbers that are all squirrels, whatever. But they have
They have to be secret identities?
not necessarily, but they have to have a unique job, like that maybe fits their animals. What?
I got a squirrel who
Flashes people?
is working on a cure for prostate cancer because he's in love with nuts.
That would work. And so you got to get the creative way that they get anthropomorphized. You got to have their occupation. It's got to be unique to that animal, or at least it will help. And
You would like it to be one step over instead of jumping a couple fences.
So, does ninja count for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as the profession?
well, like I said, they could be a superhero group. They don't have to be like ninja. I would consider them a superhero group.
Okay.
Well, part of me wonders if there was any inspiration from Japanese kappa for the Ninja Turtles.
Here he goes
Turtle
making up fucking
Well,
words
yeah.
again.
So I was wondering if there's any correlation between those. That was any part of the design process of the Ninja Turtles.
I don't know what Laird and Eastman, how much influence they had.
Well,
but
supposedly,
maybe.
this is how the story got. Because I was listening to a podcast about them. They were watching Bruce Lee, which is the one that one of them, the more laid back one, the one that isn't as motivated. Laird and I don't remember which one. He was watching a Bruce Lee movie, and the other guy that came in to hang out in his home was like, "What would be the dumbest thing that would fight Bruce Lee?" And he drew a turtle. And then the more talented one, and you can see this turtle, but then the other one goes, "Oh, that's cool," and then he redrew it, and that's more closely to what the original. Anyway, and then the third one, because I'm a sucker for this. This isn't necessary, but you'll definitely get bonus points. Back in the 80s, cartoon characters had cool fucking names. Like-
You're going to want us to do names?
Chuckles from G.I. Joe. You had He-Man, Skeletor, Raphael,
Fisto.
Fisto, like cool fucking code names. Like you don't toys and characters don't really have that anymore.
They're like, oh, this is Sarah Jane from this series. Like, they just have real names. You want, like, one-word statements.
Yeah,
This is
like,
Articulator.
like Optimus Prime, Starscream, Thundercracker. Like you don't hear characters like that anymore.
Anal fissure.
Sure.
Okay, so we have to create a Are humans in this world, or does it have to be like?
That's completely up to you.
Okay.
It could be a world full of rats. It's
Like
not
a
even
rat race.
just
Okay.
like a rat
Starring
race.
Rowan Atkinson.
It could be wacky races with a bunch of animals.
Okay.
It was
Wacky races.
it was
Sloth
inspired-
always comes in last.
It was inspired by Toy Galaxy, who did a episode of Cows of Moo Mesa.
So they have to be an animal.
Had to be an animal.
Has to have a
Occupation.
cool name.
Has to be an animal. The way they become
The unique transformation.
the unique transformation. Have to have an occupation. It literally can be anything. Superhero counts, or they could be plumbers, or the fucking they could be podcasters, and they gotta have cool code names.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
All right. Well, tune in next time for Previously On for our Animal Teams episode. Is that a car? What is that?
Oh no! I'm back in the 1600s.
Shit, I'm glad I had a battery in there.
I'm back.
Oh, we almost lost that entire episode. Oh, good lord,
I'm
Adam!
back in the 1600s.
All right. So you've been listening to Previously.
That car crash was a good sound effect. Then.
No
Well,
kidding, right? All right. You've been listening to Previously On, a Damage Control podcasting production. Make sure you check out new episodes every Monday on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. And make sure you check us out on social media at Facebook, Instagram, and the X. Please, 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 please like, comment, and subscribe. Adam, push the button.